So I almost gave up. So I am mind over matter. Okay. Hey, Jessica, thanks for joining. Thanks, Dana, for joining. Oh, thanks. Hey, Dana, how are you? So first of all, let me just say, y'all know I just got back from Chicago. And I just want to say Chicago was tough. Tough, tough, tough. And I thought, I don't know why I'm so emotional, but anyway, I thought going back to Chicago, my hometown, was going to be so easy. I can't believe I'm crying on live, but I thought it was going to be so easy. I thought for sure all my friends, all my family, it's the place I started. I don't know, and it's not really about Chicago, but it was hard, and it brought out a lot of, And I know that this was a bigger attack on me. It has nothing to do with Chicago, that it's a bigger attack. But from the onset of taking this tour to Chicago, I learned a lot about Chicago, and I'm thankful for the people that joined the panel at 100 Pitches. I'm thankful for all of my family and friends who supported me and showed up. But the first thing is, and it's not about what happened in Chicago, it's about the fact that literally I just was like, I'm tired. I don't feel like going to more states or rallying up more people I just didn't feel like it anymore. And it's been a great journey, but it's been a tough journey over and over and over again, right? And so the first thing I want to talk about is that when what you're setting out to do gets tough, you still just have to keep going. You have to remember that it's really not about you. The fact that I went on this tour in the first place, I did not want to do a tour, and I kept hearing God say, just step out, just do it. And I'm like, how am I going to even do this? Like, where's the budget going to come from? And I have all of these excuses that we put on ourselves to stop us from stepping out and from, reaching our goals. We have these amazing dreams and these amazingly big goals, and then circumstances, everything happens, and it keeps us from stepping out. And so I did it anyway. I just set the date. I was like, forget it. I'm just going to set the date. He told me to set the date. I set a date with nothing but the dream at hand, and I stepped out. And I promised the world that I was coming to them, and I knew I had to follow up. And so the first thing that happened with Chicago is that I ran into someone who told me I wasn't what I believe I am. And so I say to that when you're reaching your goals, when you're setting out to follow your dreams, you have to be very, very protective of your dreams. You have to be protective of the people that are around you, of your mind, because people will. What I'm learning is it's not about the person that's saying the negative thing or the thing that they think is right. It's really about, they're not necessarily even being intentional all the time. It's really how they see themselves, really, at the end of the day. At the end of the day, this person that had to say what they had to say, and this person, I respect who they are. I respect who they are in the industry. I respect who they are and what they've done. I would call this person an expert. And at the end of the day, I realized that what they said really was about them and how they felt. That was their purview of their world. And so people they can only go as far as their own minds take them. And so, when I come, and I'm a dreamer, I'm a big dreamer. In fact, I dream all day. I make the dream so accurate and so correct. So I'm constantly in my mind making that one dream bigger and bigger and bigger until I see it clearly. And so she couldn't see what I saw. She couldn't see it the way I saw it. And so that's her purview of her world. That's as big as her mind will take her. Or maybe that's what she believes in herself. So I knew it wasn't intentional, but nonetheless, it was being, her thoughts were being reflected on me. So to you, I say, when you have that goal, when you have that dream in mind, you really got to protect your mind. You really got to protect who you share it with, because the last thing you need when you're stepping or when you're taking big risks, when you're jumping out, is someone else to reflect their own doubt or their own small-mindedness or their own ideas on you and your goals. The thing is about your goals and your dreams, God didn't give them to nobody else. He gave them to you for a reason, right? So you need to be able to step out on your purpose because God said you can do it. And he never gives you the full picture. And he always gives you, and it's always going to be obstacles trying to get in the way of God and his purpose, right? And so you have to really be almost vulnerable and sensitive and go in knowing I'm going to run into so much opposition when trying to reach this goal. And guess what? Only the strong survive anyway. So that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. Me starting to second guess my purpose. I was second guessing my purpose, I guess, at the end of the day. And God had to remind me that my purpose isn't about me. It's about the people that I'm helping. It's not even about me. So I don't have to be the best. I don't have to know it all. I just have to touch the people that God wants me to touch, right? So that's the first thing. You need to do what you have set out to do because you have to reach the people that God wants you to reach. That's it. So then I got with a friend, and so thankfully the event in Chicago. So let me talk about Chicago's event. First of all, over half of the people didn't show, even if they bought tickets or whatever. And that made me feel some sort of way. Thanks, Jim, for joining. Hey, Jim. So that was really a weird atmosphere. And it was just so weird. I thought it would be so different. And so that got me into my feelings on how I felt. And then I was just distracted throughout the event. Just a lot of distractions throughout the event. And the event went well. So what happened after that is that God was like, people started sending me texts like, oh my God, I'm not even in the industry. And everything that you had to say about pitching or everything that your panel had to say really resonated. And I can apply it to what I'm learning in my industry, or I have to get this book, or because I need to learn, Squeaky, I need to learn how to do this. And the biggest message and the biggest takeaway from the Chicago event, which is ironic, was it's gonna be hard. Don't think it's gonna be easy. Like literally, I don't know why that message came out over and over and over, but I want to reiterate that to you. When you have the goal and when you have the dream, it's not going to be easy. You will end up like me, crying and emotional. So it's not going to be easy. So don't think that you have these big ideas and you're just going to, nobody was overnight successes. What you just missed out on all of the hard work, all of the tears, and all of the shit, pardon my French, all of the shit that they have went through. You just missed out on that. And you're seeing the end result. But I guarantee you they were sitting here like this. They just didn't go live like me. So anyway, I got with a friend, and really I was setting out to kind of help her strategize with her. And she threw, and so she said, I said, let me give you a challenge. Before December 31st, you have to get a contract. And she says, okay, I'm going to throw that right back out on you. And so I was like, that excited me. For some reason, that ignited me. And so I was already just like in my mind, I had started talking myself out from the rest of the tour. And I started thinking about maybe corporate is the right way. And with her giving me that challenge, somehow that got me excited. We strategized until it was time for me to get on the airplane. And I got excited. I got on back. I didn't know I was getting back in the game, but I was back in the game. And so I say that because if you are struggling with doubt, if you are ready to give up, challenge yourself. First of all, get with a friend, get with someone who is almost like-minded with the ambition that you have and with the goal setting that you have and with the dreams that you have. They don't have to be like yours, right? But if you find people, or you're surrounded by people that you know are dreamers and people that you know are taking risks and jumping big, then thanks, Derek, so much. Thank you. If you get with those people, then more than likely you'll be inspired by them. I was inspired by her, really, and her putting the challenge back on me ignited me, and it didn't dawn on me today that that got me back in the game, really, because I set out on the challenge, which has everything to do with what I'm already doing. Yet, I was still ready to give up on the tour. That's not where I was trying to... I was like, I don't feel like doing these other states. I just didn't feel like it. And so while I'm on the flight, I'm listening to Tim Ferriss, his 4-Hour Workweek book. And he said to me, as I'm listening to him, he says, I guess he goes to the end of his chapter and he gives you some things, some action items, some things to think about. And one of the things, I wrote down 2 of the things that I really wanted to ponder on, and I'm going to share it with you. The first one was, what will it cost me to postpone or stop my action? So when you are feeling like you want to give up on your goals and your dreams, you have to really ask yourself, what will it cost you if you stop it? And oh my God, the heaviness of that, to know that I've worked so hard to come so far, and then I got to go 10 steps back. And I know darn well, because I know me, I know because I'm going to constantly dream, that I'm going to want to get right back in, even if it's a year or 7 years from now, and then I'm going to start back over from scratch. Like, that's a huge cost, right? To build up momentum just to start back at ground zero. And I felt like the cost was too big to stop. So the next thing he asked was, how will I feel to allow circumstances to impose itself upon me and have allowing all the years of my little bitty life to pass doing the things that I know won't fulfill me? And almost that was like a dagger straight through my heart. To know that, we only have so much time in this life, right? And how are you going to feel when you know you've allowed your life to pass you by, not stepping out on the dream, Squeaky? So I knew it was only God that I would listen to this book on the airplane, because I hadn't listened to it. I was like, let me get into this one. And when I heard that, I was like, wow, okay. But I still wasn't so convinced that I was going to stop my dreams. I was just like, okay, I know I can't stop. This is good. Today it set in, though, right? Like, Squeaky, really, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're just going to throw this all away? And so this morning when I woke up, I heard God say, finish the job.